Back during the run-up to the presidential election, you might remember a little kerfuffle about this bill because one of the candidates, Michelle Bachmann, was revealed to be a big corporate welfare recipient. Michelle Bachmann is always railing about the size of government and how government has to do less. But her family, it turned out, had taken over $250,000 in federal subsidies. Just a check from the government because they have a family farm. So it was this awkward sort of hypocrisy for Michelle Bachmann as a conservative presidential candidate that she was willing to take federal money through the farm bill as payment from the government for her family having a farm, but she simultaneously wanted to cut money from the same bill for other Americans who get money from that bill. Not because they have a farm, but because they have this problem. They need to eat. Cut food stamps for other people, keep farm subsidies for myself and my family. It's a particularly obnoxious form of political hypocrisy. And it's not just Michelle Bachmann. Even if you just look at members of Congress who are getting these kinds of subsidies for themselves, not even for their family members, just for themselves, there's a whole bunch of them. James Carter posted a spreadsheet today with a ton of information on this. We're going to link to it at maddowblog.com tonight. But just looking at the ones who get these subsidies for themselves, look at Congressman Tom Latham of Iowa. Mr. Latham used to be the co-owner of the Latham Seed Company and a couple of farms that had his name on them. So back home, he was taking farm subsidies by the thousands, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of dollars from the federal government. But in D.C., in Congress, Mr. Latham voted to cut food subsidies from the same bill for people who need to eat. Martha Roby, Congresswoman from Alabama. She owns a farm in Montgomery County, Alabama. Back home, Ms. Roby has been getting checks from the federal government for her farm. Thank you very much. But in Congress, she voted to keep the farm aid going to herself, but to cut the money for people who need help getting something to eat. Same bill wants specifically to keep the money that goes to her, but to cut the money that goes to anybody else in the same bill. Call me a liberal, you do anyway, but how can you vote that your family should be able to continue to be given federal money through this specific bill, but you cannot abide other Americans, poor Americans, getting money from the same bill so they can eat? How can you take it for yourself and move to block it for somebody else?